The last 3 games outside of the game before versus Chicago Sky, where Leah Boston also had a 30-point double-double. But Caitlin Clark has been bailing this team out, saving Stephanie White's job for the last 3 games, bro. Y'all got to stop playing games, bro. We got to get into it.
The entire narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark is fracturing in real time, caught between the undeniable weight of her statistics and the reluctant whispers of those who refuse to fully acknowledge her impact on the Indiana Fever. For 3 consecutive games, Clark has been the singular force of gravity, bending the arc of entire contests to save the Fever from the brink of defeat. And yet, after a performance where she orchestrated an offense that should have produced a 15-assist night, the praise from certain corners of the league seems to carry a begrudging asterisk. Kelsey Mitchell and Sue Bird, 2 giants of the game, have found themselves under a microscope for their reluctance to spotlight the rookie phenomenon, leading to a simmering tension that cuts to the core of legacy, recognition, and what it truly means to be the savior of a franchise. For Kelsey Mitchell, a veteran scorer herself, the silence is deafening. In a post-game interview meant to dissect a Fever victory, she constructed a verbal mosaic of praise for the supporting cast, naming Sophie Cunningham, Monique Billings, and others, while avoiding any direct mention of Caitlin Clark. It wasn't just a simple oversight, it was a glaring omission, a choice that spoke volumes. Mitchell's team is winning, Clark is the engine, but the verbal credit is being rerouted. The problem for Mitchell is that the tape doesn't lie, and the numbers are damning. Caitlin Clark's efficiency, particularly in this stretch, defies the narrative that her production is a product of a system or a weakness in the opposition. It reveals a player who is dictating the tempo of the game, often bailing out a stagnant offense with audacious playmaking and unmatched court vision.
Kelsey Mitchell's not going to say a word about Caitlin Clark. She's going to credit everybody else on this team. Take a listen.
I think the good thing about our team is that, we got so many great pieces. I think Soph sealed the deal with 11 round by herself. And I think you just got to gut check a lot. And I think that once we discipline ourselves to not let teams back in it, I think we give ourselves in a better chance.
Kelsey, this is Cheryl Miller.
Okay, so you brought up Sophie. I don't know where nobody asked. Okay, you brought up Sophie.
Please describe that 1 3-point shot that you put up after you dribbled.
Let's look at the tape. Kelsey Mitchell, even when prompted, steers the conversation away from Caitlin Clark and toward a Sophie that wasn't even the topic of discussion. It reveals a deep-seated reluctance, perhaps born from pride or a competitive unwillingness to accept that the spotlight has shifted. The segment featuring Mitchell's erratic dribble, a move the hosts deride as nonsense, becomes a metaphor for her game without Clark's stabilizing presence. She admits to rethinking a shot because she saw a defender, highlighting her reliance on instinct and isolation. In contrast, Caitlin Clark's game is about vision and precision, picking apart defenses with passes that force her teammates to succeed. When Mitchell declares she must find her spots and not let nobody force her into any, she is speaking the language of a volume scorer, not a floor general. Clark, however, is the system. The Fever's offensive strategy hinges on Clark's ability to manipulate defenses, creating those spots for Mitchell and others. To ignore this is to fundamentally misunderstand why the Fever are winning. While Mitchell celebrates a single, lucky 3-pointer, Clark is delivering a masterclass in offensive orchestration, and the refusal to acknowledge the difference is a strategic blindness that could have long-term consequences for the Fever's playoff aspirations.
Because she got easier looks, not because of anything she did, because of how bad the Connecticut Sun defense is. Okay, guy. Okay, guy, here you go. Look, she can't hide it, bruh. She literally, all you had to do, Caitlin was on it. They need her to play like this. This efficiency was awesome tonight. You could not even do that. You couldn't even talk about Caitlin for 10 straight seconds without having some hater stuff to say.
First, she shoots well, they play well, and I think that just speaks to shot selection, ball movement.
Her shot.
The deep analytical breakdown of Bird's commentary reveals a stark inconsistency that is impossible to ignore. When discussing Sophie Cunningham, Bird frames her success as a product of her internal qualities, her veteran presence, her understanding of the moment, her mental fortitude. Sophie is that, Bird says, attributing Cunningham's 11-0 run to her own ability. However, when discussing Caitlin Clark's efficient night, the credit is instantly externalized. It's the defense. It's the shot selection forced upon her. The cognitive dissonance is staggering. Clark didn't just take open shots. She manipulated the Suns' defense with her dribble and passing threat to create those shots. Her gravity on the court is a force that disrupts the geometry of the opposing team. Bird's inability to credit Clark is indicative of a broader pushback. She treats Clark's performance as an anomaly born of circumstance, whereas Cunningham's is a testament to character. This highlights the immense physical and mental hurdles Clark must clear. She is being held to a standard of greatness that is immediately qualified, while her peers are celebrated for doing far less. The message is clear. If you're Caitlin Clark, you have to be perfect, and even then, it might just be because the other team was bad.
Defense is so bad and they give up threes. When it's talking about Caitlin Clark, you say, oh yeah, the Connecticut Sun, yeah, they just give up threes. Yeah. But you didn't say that when it pertained to Sophie Cunningham. You see what I'm saying? Yo, these people, they can't hide the hate. They can't hide the hate. Kelsey Mitchell, you should have involved Caitlin Clark somehow. Yo, Caitlin definitely carried us this game, got us all involved. We got to knock down these shots and withstand these runs. You didn't do that. Sue Bird hating at every single turn.
The future predictions are clear. This tension will not fade. It will amplify. As Caitlin Clark continues to put up historic numbers and drag the fever to victories, the silence from her critics will become louder and more untenable. Sue Bird's persistent skepticism and Kelsey Mitchell's deliberate omission of Clark from her praise are setting the stage for a major confrontation, either in the media or within the team dynamic. The narrative is already shifting from, can Clark play in the WNBA? To, will the WNBA embrace Clark? If Mitchell continues to ignore her point guard, the fanbase will not only notice, but will actively turn on her. The pressure is on Mitchell to adapt. She has to figure out a way to give Clark some credit, because the entire league is watching. The host's frustration is palpable, and it reflects the sentiment of a massive, growing audience that sees the genius of Clark's play. The chemistry of the Indiana Fever hinges on this acknowledgement. If Kelsey Mitchell wants to win, she has to align her words with the reality that Caitlin Clark is the savior of the franchise, the player bailing them out night after night. The clock is ticking. The final verdict is inescapable. Caitlin Clark is the singular force driving the Indiana Fever forward, and the attempts by Kelsey Mitchell and Sue Bird to downplay that reality are transparent and short-sighted. Mitchell's refusal to credit Clark post-victory is not just an act of omission. It is a refusal to accept the new hierarchy. Bird's analytical gymnastics, deflecting credit onto the Suns' defense, reveal a generation unwilling to anoint the new queen. It's a high-stakes drama playing out in post-game pressers and podcasts, with Clark's legacy as the ultimate prize. The narrative arc is clear. These legends are in the position of being the skeptics, and Clark is the undeniable answer they are trying to avoid. What do you think? Is it jealousy? Is it generational bias? Or is there a legitimate reason to be critical of Caitlin Clark's game? Who is the real villain of this story? The hater or the one who refuses to see the truth? Drop your verdict in the comments and make sure to like, subscribe, and share. We see straight through it all.